Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope you all are enjoying a nice and warm Thursday evening. Here in Western Pennsylvania, we had exactly that, and things heating up on the field in Latrobe at St. Vincent College. Day one of Steelers training camp is officially in the books. Players reported last night, and their first practice was today, beginning at 1:55 p.m. Practice just wrapped up, I'd say around an hour ago. We have tons of video, tons of photos, and all that circulating out there on the internet right now, and we also heard from a couple of players as well, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and even head coach Mike Tomlin. We are going to break down what all happened today at practice number one of the 2025 training camp for the Pittsburgh Steelers, see who all did well, who all did not, and everything else in between. Also, we will talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Off night for them tonight, but still, we are in trade season in the MLB. Lots of rumors circulating around the Pittsburgh Pirates and some of their players, but one that came up last night, O'Neal Cruz, some teams calling about him. We will talk a little bit about that and the new information that has come out about that situation. All of that and much more later on here in the show. First thing is first, if you are new here to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this live stream, as well as comment in the comments section any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have. I can pop those up on the screen here at a moment's notice, just like this. I can read off what you say, and we can interact that way. Like I said, we are going to start off today's live stream with how day one of Steelers training camp 2025 went down. The Steelers once again returning to what I would say is one of football's heavens in St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. An absolute beautiful sight year in, year out when the Steelers show up there. There is a shot for you right there of St. Vincent College. Steelers using all three of those fields out there today. Going to recap, really bounce all over here what all went down today. Peyton Wilson, first Steeler to hit the field down there ahead of everyone from the dormitories this afternoon. Aaron Rodgers, he did sneak in the back door yesterday when players reported he was out there as well. The quarterback rotation for day one of training camp. Aaron Rodgers, of course, first team reps. Also, no shock, Mason Rudolph was the backup quarterback. Skylar Thompson, currently the QB3 on this day one of practice depth chart. Will Howard in the QB4 spot. I'm sure that's just Tomlin doing what Tomlin does, giving tough love to all the rookies, except for maybe Derek Harmon. I think Derek Harmon got first team reps today, but you saw Will Howard. He was, QB4 on the depth chart. Caleb Johnson, more on him here in a couple of minutes. He was RB3, behind Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. But anyways, we did hear from Will Howard before the team hit the field this afternoon. Talked again about Aaron Rodgers, spoke glowingly about how Rodgers is being such a great teammate and a great mentor for him. Quote, "You see a guy that's brought in, he's sitting around and he's taking time to sit with his teammates and talk with us and guys like me, and he just looks happy. He got a smile on his face, and he's just a great man." So Rodgers, glowing reviews from all of his teammates. Really, I think we can leave the baggage and all of the speculation, the sayings about him because he was in such a crappy sports market in New York. Let's give Rodgers a fair shot here. Everyone here come to our own assumptions, our own conclusions, and not just play off of what other people have said about him. Going to start here talking about the team portions of practice. Those were near the ending of practice, but instead of starting off with 7 shots, which is when offense and defense. They are in goal line scenarios in both sides in a best-of-7 series. Will the offense score or will the defense make a stop with their backs against the walls? They did not do that first and foremost. They instead went right into 11-on-11 periods. No real surprises here for the offense in their base 11 personnel. DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, and Roman Wilson were the top 3 wide receivers out there. Austin in the slot. Pat Freiermuth, TE1 out there. Spencer Anderson, as Mike Tomlin said yesterday, filling in on the offensive line for an injured Isaac Seumalo right now. Jalen Warren, the running back. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. Before I get into what all went down in 11-on-11 drills, or at least most of them, on the defensive side of the ball, great stuff that we were talking about yesterday. It turns out that it wasn't just lip service. TJ Watt, indeed, moving around on defense. Lined up on the left edge one play, and then on the third rep this year from Jack Hillgrove, who was boots on the ground there at Latrobe. Watt moved from the left edge to the middle. He dropped back into coverage and made a tackle on Roman Wilson for a short gain. Also moving around in the defense. Good to see Jalen Ramsey played nickel, outside, and safety all within 5 different snaps. I like it. I do like it that they are going to use Ramsey as a playmaker and not, give him a solid position designation. However, first day of practice here. We'll see how this progresses throughout training camp. Is too much movement going to be a bad thing for him? We'll have to wait and see, but they did move him around a bunch more on Ramsey specifically here coming up. But anyways, first 11-on-11 reps, not 7 shots. Rodgers, his very first pass as a Pittsburgh Steeler, intended for DK Metcalf, picked off by linebacker Patrick Queen. People, they're gonna overreact to this. I'm not gonna look anything into it. Rodgers, I think himself, said at the end of practice today that he was just looking to get that first interception of practice out of the way. First interception of training camp out of the way. You really joked about it. I'm not going to think too much of it. If anything, Rodgers in the quarterbacks, you would want to see them throw a good amount of interceptions in training camp here. Really, that's the quarterback testing their own limits. Like, okay, can I still thread it through this needle here? Which I'm not doubting that Rodgers is going to be able to do that by the end of training camp. And also wants to maybe test out the catch radius of his receivers. Also, we could be looking at it. Maybe Patrick Queen is going to have a breakout year, second year with the Steelers. So let's not overreact here to Rodgers, his first pass in Steelers practice being an INT. After that, Rodgers had 3 more reps. Derek Harmon, who he had himself a day, one of a couple rookie standouts on day 1 of practice. Harmon swatting down a pass from Rodgers. By the way, also Harmon, if the team was in pads, he would have had a couple of, run blow-ups as well. So great first showing from him. Rodgers then had a check down to Scotty Miller for 4 yards, and then he still has that hard count, and offsides Rodgers drew. I even think I saw a post where he almost got his own guy, Darnell Washington, to jump offsides as well. So Rodgers, iffy day for him, but hey, first day of training camp here. Let's not get too high with the highs, not too low with the lows either. After that, though, kind of hard not to notice, how Rodgers did, because right after, Mason Rudolph came in 4 for 4 on 11-on-11 drills. A dump pass off to Caleb Johnson was for a first down, then threw a hitch to Kenneth Gainwell, got the ball to Max Hurlman, and then another quick hitch to Lance McCutcheon. So Rudolph with the second and third teamers. Really, I wouldn't be surprised at all that he did that well. Veteran in the league going up against backups. Typical there for Mason Rudolph. After that, I think Will Howard got in for 1 or 2 11-on-11 plays. He had a completion, at least one across the middle. Didn't see too much tape from him here today. Also in the 11-on-11 drills, Trey Sermon, former Ohio State running back, I believe, trying to find a spot for him on this team. It's going to be hard for him. He had a long run for, I think, a touchdown. After that, team went into 7-on-7 drills. Rodgers and the first team back in there against the first team defense. A matchup that I want to see a whole bunch this training camp. And I know we've had something similar to it in the past with Joey Porter Jr. and George Pickens, but JPJ one-on-one with DK Metcalf throughout the 7-on-7 period. Today, Rodgers, his first pass intended for Metcalf in 7-on-7. Porter, from what I read and what I've seen, maybe a little bit handsy, but good coverage nonetheless. Kenneth Gainwell then had a short catch. Metcalf had a drop. Calvin Austin had a first down hitch. And then DK Metcalf also had a 5-yard reception. Do not know if the offense scored it all there. But yeah, defense, I think, reigned supreme for practice on day one. They're going to put that in the win column for themselves. No shock. Really, the offense, they are a slower moving group to go along and to get up to speed here with training camp just beginning. So, yeah, good first day, 11-on-11. You saw some stuff that you like, saw some stuff to work on, but hey, that's what training camp is for. After that, or I guess I should say before this, before 11-on-11, just going to go over here some individual stuff that went down today. Caleb Johnson, going back to the 11-on-11 drills real quick. He had a fantastic day, just like Derek Harmon, really stood out. He is someone to watch throughout camp and throughout the preseason. If he is as good as he showed out there today and as good as we all think he's going to be in this Arthur Smith offense, yeah, Jaylen Warren might be in more trouble than what we are realizing, holding on to that RB1 spot. TJ Watt, first time we've seen him in a Steeler uniform in quite some time, really since the playoff game. Looks massive. He really bulked up in the offseason. So with the payday, it looks like, might be adding on a little bit more muscle, a little bit more weight. Let his power game as he is aging take over just a tad bit more than, being a typical speed rusher that he is. Also, leading by example, even with it being hot out there today, he and a handful of other players stayed on the field after practice to continue extra work. Looking at a video here, I think Jack Sawyer was among one of them. So Watt out there getting in extra work. No loss of motor for him. One notable absence today for camp, for opening of camp. Jonnu Smith began the day. He was out there, in uniform. And interestingly enough, was working with the wide receiver group than the tight ends. Don't know if I want to look too much into that day one of camp, but a bit odd that Jonnu Smith was off with the receivers instead of the tight ends. Anyways, besides that, didn't see Jonnu Smith much at all. He then took off his, jersey and all that, and was out there in street clothes for the rest of practice on the sideline for the team drills. And don't know if he tweaked something, if the heat got to him or what, but that too was odd itself. Also, not going to blame him too harsh for missing out on team portions on, team drills. Because, again, just like Jalen Ramsey, he is pretty new to the team, and he's still, I'm sure, got some aspects of the offense to learn. So we'll keep an eye on Jonnu Smith. Back to his teammate who came over in that trade a couple weeks ago. Jalen Ramsey, like I said, moved all around. He actually was not with the DBs, and he split off with the safeties. From what I heard, defensive backs or corners, they go to one field, safeties, they go pretty much the other direction. Ramsey with the safeties. Would like to see him get a lot of work at corner here, see if he can still be that number one shutdown guy. But again, not going to overreact too much to day one of training camp. By the way, Ramsey, he was at safety in base, and then he was in the slot in nickel with the first team. Juan Thornhill, he was out there at safety sometimes. I think I even saw something where Thornhill was running both first and second team reps at free safety, and that Sebastian Castro was then behind Thornhill at free safety. So Steelers think you can pretty much book it, guarantee it, that they are going to add another safety before not too long, hopefully. So that all from Ramsey today, moved around quite a bit, went off with the safeties. Who knows, maybe tomorrow then he'll go off with the corners. I like that he's going to be out there a ton, but you want to put this many hats on him this early? I don't know. Also, he too, just like TJ Watt and some others, he stayed on at the end of practice, got some work on the jugs machine, working his hands. Back to the running backs here for a second. Couple other minor aspects to day one of training camp for the Steelers. Kenneth Gainwell, like I said, working with the second team, got quite a few backup reps as a wide receiver, and he was used in pre-snap motion during the 11-on-11 drills. Like seeing that. Gainwell, I think even though you've got Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson, who are both, I think, going to be phenomenal running backs, do not completely write off Kenneth Gainwell. Just go put on the tape of him against the Steelers last season when he was with Philadelphia. Out of the backfield, an absolute receiving weapon, and he was a hassle to bring down. So, like seeing that they are still going to use him a good bit. Cam Johnston, the punter, of course, suffered that horrific-looking leg injury in the first game of the year last season. He was back out there booming footballs, I heard. Great that he is seemingly healthy. Not sure if there's too much of a competition between him and Cortlis Waitman. If I had to guess, Johnston, you brought him in as a free agent 2 years ago. And before his injury, he was looked at as a top 10, top 5 punter in the league. Would like to think that he is going to prevail in that competition if such competition exists. And the last thing here in terms of on the field drills today, those receiving kicks, warming up special team returners. No surprise, Calvin Austin back there, Scotty Miller as well. 7th round pick, Dante Kent. Think he's going to make this team as a special teamer, but hey, if he can be a return man here and there, he's got the absolute wheels to be a weapon. Also, I think Robert Woods was back there, Max Hurlman as well, and then a couple others. Rock Taylor, undrafted free agent, I believe from Memphis. Keep an eye on him at wide receiver. He could be this year's Beanie Bishop. He too was getting kicks in warmups. After practice, going to wrap things up here, talking about the Steelers' day one of training camp. Mike Tomlin, like I said, spoke. He said that there were no injuries worth mentioning today. Good sign for day one of practice. Reason why I say that, quite a bit of injuries in day one of NFL training camps around the league. I'll get into some of those here in a little bit. Tomlin did say that there might have been some heat-related issues. I think in saying that, he was referring to Jonnu Smith. Also, Cordero Patterson, he was not out there today. If he was, it wasn't that much. Tomlin said you can consider both of them as day-to-day. So we'll see if they can get back on the field here soon. Also, Aaron Rodgers talked about him saying he wanted to get the first interception out of the way. Also said, I'm going to throw some picks, but I'm also going to throw some touchdowns too. So he's no sweating it. We should do the same. Also, a little bit shocking. dropped a bit of news on us. He has a roommate for training camp. Usually, Rodgers and the bigger guys, the higher paid, higher pedigree guys, they get their own dorms out there at St. Vincent, and they don't share really. But Rodgers rooming with DK Metcalf. How about that for building up some camaraderie and chemistry with your WR1? Rodgers, after the fact, said apparently, he was in the bathroom and Metcalf walked in, knocked on the door, and Rodgers said something like, I saw that there was a, pretty modern bag in there. I was hoping that it was going to be you. So Metcalf said, I didn't think I'd have a roommate, but hey, it looks like they're all having smiles. Who knew that two of the highest paid guys on the team, well, Rodgers $10 million, but he's made his money. And Metcalf, who's the highest paid, I think second highest paid player on the team, they're roomies. So that's cool to see. That was day one of training camp, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, let's not get too high with the highs, not get too low with the lows. Rodgers, he'll have to have a better day. Same with Metcalf. However, lots of other promising parts. Derek Harmon, Caleb Johnson, TJ Watt moving around, Jalen Ramsey moving around. Good to see, good to hear from day one of Steelers training camp. Before I continue on, here, ladies and gentlemen, 5 of you in here right now, welcome to the stream. If you're new here to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, please leave a comment in the comment section. We can interact that way. Like and share this video as well. Going to take a quick stroll here through Twitter, see if we have any new news going on, anything else, any, late bits of news and information from today's first day of training camp practice. Rodgers, of course, in the warm-up for the offense, through to Pat Freiermuth as well. Seeing the video again of Jalen Ramsey on the jugs machine after practice. Roman Wilson, didn't hear much from him today, but I do think that he had a good day. So, yeah, lots to try to keep track of here for training camp, but I'm sure we will be able to, understand and see what happens more clearly as the practices go on. Going to continue on right now. Briefly, very briefly, it's going to be a football-heavy program here tonight. Going to very quickly get into some baseball talk real quick. Pirates, they are off this evening. They will be back in action tomorrow night, but that doesn't stop the news around the Bucs continuing. Last night, Noah Hiles came out with a report that some MLB teams, they are calling the Pittsburgh Pirates about O'Neal Cruz, and that the Pirates are listening. Kind of crazy enough that they are actually listening to offers for Cruz. He and Paul Skeens, they are my two untouchables ahead of this deadline. However, Mark Feinsand, national MLB insider, he too reported what Hiles said, saying that some teams have reached out about O'Neal Cruz, but that a source said the Pirates are listening, but they are not prioritizing such a move. The source, according to Feinsand, said that a Cruz deal is unlikely and that Pittsburgh would have to be absolutely blown away by an offer. I like hearing that it's unlikely. However, the only part of that I don't like is that what blows Ben Cherington away. Because out of the long line of trades that he's made where the team has either gotten worse or that the personnel that he's traded away has gone on to do much better things, I don't trust him to make any sort of move, and I don't trust his judgment on what is a good deal or not. So if he gets blown away by a deal, we are going to be very, very critical of it in the moment. But we'll see. Hiles today, who was the first to break this news, updated us on the situation. He said that the Yankees, the New York Yankees, are one of many teams who have checked in on O'Neal Cruz. But he too, like Feinstein said, doesn't expect a Cruz trade to happen before this year's trade deadline. I don't like the Yankees being a part of it because, imagine an outfield up in New York where it's O'Neal Cruz, Cody Bellinger, and Aaron Judge. Not a good situation for the Pirates to give that team in that market, that outfield. Also, Cruz, you think a little bit of tinkering from their coaching staff, which is probably light years better than the Pirates. You think they do a little bit of fixing with O'Neal Cruz to where he could hit lefties a little bit better and, not strike out as much, that he is going to absolutely abuse that very short right field among a very small ballpark. Cruz will go there and he will be at least a 40-40 guy if that happens. Also, I think I saw someone, I can't remember who said a potential trade package that the Yankees could send the Pirates would be outfielder Jason Dominguez, who is their left fielder up there, and don't know much about him with the bat. I'm going to assume that he's average, but that he's horrid with fielding. And then another person who could come back in the deal, Anthony Volpe, their starting shortstop, who he is having an absolute brutal year. So whoever put that out there is an absolute idiot. But, thank goodness Cruz hopefully isn't going anywhere. I think along with this, Andrew Filipponi said one of his sources is that the Philadelphia Phillies, they are in on Cruz as well because they don't have a center fielder. Brandon Marsh, dude with the big beard and long hair, looks like he hasn't bathed himself in months. He's having a terrible year up there, and the Phillies want to add Cruz. Yeah, let's go ahead and send him there as well. Way to help out your cross-state rival. Please don't trade Cruz. Him and Skeens are the only untouchables. As a matter of fact, just because Ben Sherrington's a moron, Mitch Keller, Dennis Santana, David Bednar, those guys are also untouchable. Same thing with Brian Reynolds, because they are too valuable of assets for him to move and get a decent return on, because we do not trust him, and for good reason, because he hasn't proved it to us that he is going to get a substantial deal in return. Last thing here on this O'Neal Cruz thing, talked about the Yankees being in on him. Also, I think it's been not necessarily reported, but it's been speculated in the past, could Ke'Bryan Hayes be an option for the New York Yankees? They are looking to acquire a third baseman. They've been in on Eugenio Suarez from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Feinsand as well last night saying that they will pivot to Ryan McMahon, third baseman for the Colorado Rockies, if an Eugenio Suarez deal cannot come to. So if the Pirates are going to move on Ke'Bryan Hayes, they might need to find a new dance partner other than the Yankees. Okay, before I continue on here, ladies and gentlemen, with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Again, real quick, I'm going to go through Twitter here. Same as always, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I'm live again. Seeing a new video of Aaron Rodgers walking around on the field at St. Vincent. Presumably, this was before practice. Someone on Twitter saying, day one overreaction, this Steelers defense might rival the 08 defense. I'm not going to go that far. it was a good day for the defense, and they do look to be in a better spot than what they were last year. But I'm not going to go that far. All right, going to continue here with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Like I just said a couple of minutes ago, thank goodness that the Steelers made it through day one of training camp without any noticeable injuries. Like I said, I think it was just heat issues with Cordero Patterson and Jonnu Smith. The reason why I say that, tons of other injuries that do have ties to the Steelers took place around the NFL today and yesterday. The main one here, Justin Fields, now with the New York Jets, going to be their starter up there. He was carted off to the locker room after suffering a lower leg injury this morning at Jets practice. Later reports confirmed, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Fields, his right foot was stepped on, and it dislocated a toe in his right foot. There was no fracture, and it was not his big toe. He is still going to go He is still going to undergo tests, but the severity of it was not revealed. So a sigh of relief. I think there was a fake account out there that said it was an Achilles. So we had to wait for it to officially be diagnosed as a foot injury. Looks like best case scenario for what happened. Well, not best case scenario. Best case would be he wasn't, all that hurt and that it was, just a, sore foot. But one of the better outcomes is what I will say. And hopefully, I like Justin Fields. Hold nothing against him. He was a perfect professional here with the Steelers. Gave everything that he had on the field, and then took the benching for Russell Wilson like a pro. Now he's up in New York getting a fair shot where he is the solidified number one. I'm happy for him. All I'm hoping now, I want to see it. I know deep down you all want to see it. Rodgers versus Fields on different teams week one. Hopefully that Fields getting injured doesn't put that in jeopardy. Going to some other injuries in training camps around the NFL. Let's go to Baltimore real quick and the Ravens. An injury scare for Zay Flowers, the Ravens' top wide receiver. Looking here, Flowers, he appeared to tweak his ankle and he missed a few reps at practice today for the Ravens. And then he was back on the field and made several catches afterwards. So thank goodness the Steelers didn't have anything like that. Going to the Bengals here real quick. Defensive end Myles Murphy, I believe he was a first or second round pick from them from a couple of years ago. He was carted back to the locker room today in what was described by Ben Baby, who covers them, as a very hot and humid day. Maybe he just had some dehydration issues there, but if it's anything but that, that puts the Bengals in even a tougher spot than what they are already in. Myles Murphy, I guess, is their pretty much number one defensive end right now, because Shamar Stewart, he's back working with Texas A&M. That's a crazy situation there. Never would I think you'd see a player in college, or a player who got drafted then go back to college over a contract dispute, but here we are. Also, Trey Hendrickson still nowhere to be found for the Bengals in what has been very hostile contract negotiations. Hendrickson, by the way, today posting to his Instagram profile, to his Instagram story, that is this little beauty right here. Don't think I need to interpret what he means by this all that much. Pay me my money. What he's saying there. Wonder what that will mean for the Bengals moving forward. Also, hit on all three of the AFC North teams right now. Yesterday, Deontay Johnson, keep forgetting that he is with the Browns. You'd think, after the year he had, he would be who the hell knows in the league. Anyways, he was walking off of the field at yesterday's practice for the Cleveland Browns with two members of the team medical staff. No idea what happened, and I have no update on that I've seen at this time. Last bit of injury updates around NFL training camps that relate to the Steelers. Sucks to see this. Talked about this yesterday, but the worst for this player has been realized. Artie Burns, former Steelers corner, did indeed tear his ACL yesterday for the Miami Dolphins. He is out for the 2025 season. He's kind of one of those guys. I guess Deontay Johnson is getting into this territory now where it was like, all right, this dude left the Steelers and then he bounced around with a whole bunch of teams. How is he still, getting contracts and is on NFL teams? But hey, credit to him. He keeps, getting chances. This probably would have been his best chance to, make a real sticking in the NFL. The Dolphins, they have pretty much no corners. And he was going to get a fair shot down there. Now it sucks. He will be out for the 2025 season. Staying with the Dolphins here, Minkah Fitzpatrick, this year from Joe Shad, who covers the Dolphins for the Palm Beach Post. Minkah Fitzpatrick has not spoken with local reporters since he got traded back down to Miami. So, Minkah not meeting with reporters, which even up here in Pittsburgh, he wasn't a big, I'm going to go, get every single media availability that I possibly can. Wasn't really that guy, but still, though, I think at this point, intentionally dodging reporters, not really being all that happy looking in his team photo. I think Minkah is upset that he ended up going back down to Miami in the Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith trade. Next here, back to the Cincinnati Bengals for a second. We talked about them and their contract situations with Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. I guess they are going to be on sort of a holy crusade here to pay every single other person other than them, because yesterday, this here from Jordan Schultz, they have hosted a visit with tight end Noah Fant today, is when that visit was supposed to go down. Just got cut from the Seattle Seahawks was Noah Fant. He was supposed to visit with the Bengals today. Maybe a deal comes together within the next couple of hours. Who knows? 27 years old, former first-round pick, would be another weapon for Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Burrow already has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. That would be another guy for the Steelers to keep eye on and keep track of when they play later this year. Finally, back to the Steelers here. Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey real quick. We talked about him moving all around today. A cool story was posted, I think, earlier today by Josh Carney on Steelers Depot. Jalen Ramsey really, he said yesterday going into Latrobe that, he was happy to be with the Steelers because it was a historic franchise. Also, I think he's happy to be reunited with Mike Tomlin, because a cool story from Josh Carney. I have never heard of this before. Jalen Ramsey met with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and he said that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they did a cool thing for him. He said that he was broke when he was in college, and even though the Steelers were not going to be able to draft him, the Steelers knew it, Ramsey knew it. The Steelers, they still hosted him for a dinner, said that they were going to give him, a free meal, even though they knew that they weren't going to be able to link up through the draft. So great that, Ramsey, hard times, the Steelers still did him a solid. And that's the type of stuff there that really warms all of our hearts. But that's also, I think, a key story there. One of, I'm sure, many stories as to why players always have glowing remarks of Mike Tomlin, even though we can criticize him about, how he's been as a coach. You can't deny the human being that he is. Also, that shows you just how deep and how committed Mike Tomlin is into creating relationships, because you never know when stuff like this is going to come in handy, making good impressions like that down the line. Look, that was back in 2016, 2017, when Ramsey came out of the draft. Now, all these years later, he's here with Mike Tomlin, and I'm sure a big bonus of him coming to here was him thinking back to that story. So I thought that was cool to hear. Last thing here on the Steelers before we get back into the Pittsburgh Pirates for a quick minute. The Green Bay Packers today, they dropped alternate jerseys as well, and I'm going to pop them up on the screen here. You can leave a comment in the comment section, what you guys think about this. Check these out. I think they've worn, something similar to these jerseys in the past, the Packers did, but the old spray painted like leather helmet onto their helmets, that's interesting. Reason why I'm bringing this up, wouldn't it be something the Steelers and the Packers both decide, hey, let's wear these alternate uniforms when they meet in Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football. That might be an all-time ugly uniform matchup. But hey, it would be hilarious. Back into some Pittsburgh Pirate talk here real quick. The National Baseball Hall of Fame, they are about to induct the 2025 Hall of Fame class officially in here. I'm not sure if that is today or in the coming days. Either way, Dave Parker, Pittsburgh Pirates legend, he was supposed to be in person for his induction into the Hall of Fame, which was so freaking overdue that it's not even funny. Unfortunately, Parker passed away about a month ago now. Anyways, fortunately, he won't be able to be in person for his Hall of Fame induction. But us, the Hall of Fame, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, we will continue to honor him. The Pirates today announcing this right here. I will pop it up on the screen real quick for all of you to see. The Pirates, they will wear these patches here for the remainder of the season, honoring Dave Parker. I assume that these are, judging by this video here, going to be somewhere here on the left or right to the chest. Either that, they can't really do it on the sleeves because Pirate logo one side, advertisement on the other, but still cool that the Pirates are going to be doing this for the remainder of the season. And if I were them, I would kind of would have done this before, right after he passed away. But hey, better late than never. Cool to see this patch out there that the Bucs will wear. Continuing on here with the Pirates real quick. We talked about, O'Neal Cruz and his trade rumors. Let's go here to the prospect system for the Pirates real quick. Connor Griffin, congratulations. Having one hell of a year, first professional year, nonetheless, for the Pirates. He officially, according to MLB Pipeline and Baseball America, the number one prospect in all of baseball. Roman Anthony today graduating from prospect status. So Connor Griffin, the Pirates, officially once again for the second time in 3 years now, they hold the top prospect in all of baseball. Of course, Paul Skeens being the top prospect in all of baseball last year. Connor Griffin now at the top of the charts. So congratulations to him. Also, Pirates, at least according to MLB Pipeline, they now have two prospects in the top 10 of all of baseball. Bubba Chandler at number 6. on MLB Pipeline, and congratulations as well to Edward Florentino, having quite the year for the Pirates. I think with the Greensboro Grasshoppers, he is now the number 6 prospect in the Pirates top 30 as well. So, bright side, Pirates hitters moving up in the prospect system in terms of top 30 prospects. Unfortunately, they're still quite a bit away from the big leagues. So that's the downside there. We just talked about Pirate prospects there. Let's talk about some players who could find themselves in the top 30 of the Pirates prospect system here in the not too distant future. The 2025 draft class, I think, is now all signed. I think Murph Gray, Jack Anchor, want to say someone else, and Seth Hernandez. Those guys, they all signed their rookie deals. Seth Hernandez just did it 2 nights ago. Now, the Pirates, within the last 24 hours, they have signed 12 of their 20 draft picks. Last night, 4th-round pick shortstop Gustavo Melendez, 5th-round pick catcher Adonis Guzman, 8th-round outfielder Josh Tate, 11th-round second baseman Dylan Palmer, 12th-round right-handed pitcher Cameron Keyshock, 16th round and 18th round outfielders Eddie King and Cannon Reeder, and 19th round right-handed pitcher Brandon Kane. Those 8 signing their rookie contracts last night. 4th rounder Gustavo Melendez getting full slot value there. And then just an hour ago, right before I went live, the Pirates, I want to say that this is them officially signing all of their draft class, except for one. We'll get to that here in a moment. This afternoon, 3rd round catcher Easton Carmichael, 7th round third baseman Brent Iredale, my favorite pick of the draft, 9th round first baseman with a lot of thump Jared Jones, and 13th round right-handed pitcher Dylan Mathiasen. Those 4 signing today. 12 draft picks in all signing their rookie contracts with the Pirates over the last 24 hours. I think that's all, except for one. That one, of course, and a bit of a shock, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, 2nd round pick, right-handed pitcher Angel Cervantes. He lived up and I guess officially committed to UCLA, voiding signing with the Pirates. So instead of joining the Pirates organization, he is going to go to college, pitch for the UCLA Bruins. Kind of a surprising outcome there. Not sure if money was an issue or what all went on there, but even though the Pirates missed out and their 30th or their 50th pick this year has gone to waste, they will at least get some compensation in return. I believe they get guaranteed pick number 51 in the 2026 draft. And also, this isn't them gaining anything. They lost almost $2 million in pool space for signings. So that was a bit of a shock last night. But looking here at this list here from Ethan Hullahan on X, does a great job here keeping track of this stuff for the Pirates, all of their moves. Looking here at the list, maybe I'm counting actually 3 or 4 Pirates that have not signed yet, or I just don't remember that they have signed. Looking here, McLean Moody, 15th round pick, Carter Gwost, and Nick Frusco. I think those guys haven't signed yet. Either that or I don't remember. Also, Connor Hamilton. I want to say he signed, but I'm not too sure. Either way, if any more signings that the Pirates make to their free agent class come along, we will notify you guys as they come in. Going to take one final scroll here through Twitter before logging off for the evening, seeing more video of Jalen Ramsey. Tell you what, people making a big stink about, oh, you brought in this guy. He's, 30 years old, about to be 31. This is when corners and defensive backs start to drop off. No, it's first day of practice, but he looked quite mobile for the first day. Picture there, Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott together. Man, I hope that that interception from Aaron Rodgers, not that, I'm being too harsh on Rodgers for it. I hope that was more Patrick Queen, starting to become a star than anything, because my goodness, it'd be massive to get a huge year from him and officially be solidified as a number one guy for the Steelers linebacker room. Looking here, more Aaron Rodgers videos there. Browns GM here from Mary Kay Cabot. Andrew Berry declines to speculate on Quinshon Judkins and his alleged domestic violence issue going on. Sounds all good. Sounds like things are going swimmingly there in Browns world. Your second round rookie running back is in trouble. One of your quarterbacks got into a speeding issue. And you unveiled yesterday the ugliest uniforms ever. And the guy filming it all fell off of a, floating platform. Browns is the Browns. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that is going to do it today for the Steel City Sports Report. Day 1 of Steelers training camp in the Bucs. We will be back here tomorrow to cover more of what went on. But before I log off here for the rest of the night, I would be remiss if I didn't do this as not just a Pittsburgh sports fan, not just a sports fan in general, but also as a wrestling fan. The world lost an icon today. Rest in peace to the immortal Hulk Hogan. Passed away today at the age of 71. I believe cardiac arrest in his home, and they were not able to bring him back. So that just unfortunate. Say what you want to say about the guy, since his post-wrestling days. People have made him out as a controversial figure, but one thing you can't deny is that he was a larger-than-life icon, and he, without him and the impact that he had, there would be no professional wrestling today like what I enjoy, and I'm sure many of you as well. And, sports in general might not be the same without him. Kind of like just 2 days ago when we all lost the immortal as well, Ozzy Osbourne. Heavy metal, rock, and music in general wouldn't be the way it is today without Ozzy Osbourne. We can say the same thing about professional wrestling and sports, without Hulk Hogan. So R.I.P. Hulkster. Hulkamania will forever run wild. And rest in peace to one of the GOATs of all time. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here today. Thank you for tuning in for the final time. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, like, share, and comment on this live stream after the fact. For one more time this week, we'll do it all again tomorrow, breaking down what happens in Steelers training camp practice number 2 tomorrow. And then we will talk about anything else that happens to come along the way. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Thursday night. Steelers football is back in full swing. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.